morning. Good morning. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Let's go ahead. Come on in. Tell me that you're here live. Let me know in the comments. If you're watching on the replay, put hashtag replay. And take it as you get. Good morning to now. I just feel like I'm looking over here because it pops up on this side of my screen. So, good morning. Janelle, good morning. Oh, lovely ladies. All righty. Definitely coming in. Oh, when you're coming in, if you're popping in here, turn on your notifications so you get reminders to show up. I'm not going to get reminders to show up, but I try. Okay, I try to follow the algorithm and then, but you'll know when to do it. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Probably a lazy Monday, right? I know I had trouble getting up this morning, that's for sure. Ooh, it's been quite the weekend. What am I on? Day 8 in my day job, working in a row. It gets kind of crazy. Welcome for those of you joining us for the first time. There's Rebecca. For those of you joining us for the very first time, I'm Dr. Disha, cardiologist who deals with all matters of the heart and founder of the Path to Meditation Mastery, Meditation for Female Physicians, Heart-Centered Living Group. And we like to meet here Monday through Friday as often as possible when I can, 7 to 7:30 a.m. for a healthy breakfast for our souls. And this is based on the premise. What do I mean by that? A healthy breakfast. What I mean is that there's the premise that we are not human beings just seeking for a psychedelic spiritual experience. No. We are, in fact, spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings who are eternal, whose qualities and virtues are love, joy, passion, enthusiasm. And we come into these bodies. Our bodies are a vehicle for our souls. And so just as we need a healthy lifestyle for our bodies to keep our bodies healthy, just as we need to eat healthy food for our bodies, we also need a healthy diet for our minds, spirits, and souls. Because what we consume after we wake up in the morning greatly affects our day. If you get up in the morning and you go to your phone immediately and see all the garbage that's scrolling through there and you decide to click on it and you're like, what other crap is going on in the world today? And then you wonder why you're so depressed and upset and it's because you're flooding your brain with a whole bunch of negativity and all the negative drama that's going on in the world. But if you take a moment in the morning, take a deep breath in and remind yourself of your truth, of who you really are, a loving, pure, peaceful soul who is unshakable, who is strong, who is immovable, right? That's who you are. You're a being of love, a being of light. And when you start your day from that place, your whole world changes. So I'm going to tell you, talk about being unshakable and immovable. So I've been on call all weekend. So I saw a patient yesterday who we've seen quite a few times in the hospital. All my physician sisters know about the frequent flyers, right? That half their life is in the hospital, half their life is out of the hospital, right? My goal, I'm a prevention gal. My goal is always to keep everybody out of the hospital. But alas, we can't do that for everyone. So this gentleman the reason I got called to see him was because they wanted clearance. Why? Because he needs an amputation. And a big amputation. He needs he's going to lose more than half of his leg. Why? Because he's got a wound that will not heal. And the wound stinks, right? Because this like infected wound is just awful. And turns out he had a very, very rough year. Talk about rough. I mean, he's getting this news. And even though he's had other pieces of his body amputated before, but this is a big one. This is a big one. And so he also had a huge accident, and his loved one, his partner, is in a hospital, has been in the hospital for like 2 months, so in another state, because he passed out while driving. And incredibly, he was discharged the day after, and his wife got extremely hurt, but is alive. So, medically speaking, he's had open heart surgery. He's got diabetes. He's got peripheral arterial disease, meaning he's got blockages in the arteries in his legs, one after the other. I mean, his diagnosis list is this big, and he's still with it here. So I walk in to see him, and I'm like, hey, man. And he's like, hi, doctor. And I'm like, so they want us to clear you for surgery. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, so they want to tape the leg? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. I was like, listen, you're a freaking miracle. And he's like looking at me. I was like, you are. I was like, think about every single thing that you've been through in your life. So you got knocked down and you got back up. You got knocked down again and you got back up. That's who you are. He's like, I don't know if I can do it again, Doc. I'm like, you're going to get a prosthesis. And he's like, and now I got to learn to walk again. And I'm like, yeah, you got to learn to walk again. So, and he's like, I'm not getting no prosthesis. I'm like, why not? I'm like, what are you going to do? He's like, I'm going to crawl. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not going to freaking crawl. You're going to get up and you're going to walk. And he's just like, I'm like, unless you're ready for hospice. He's like, I don't know about all that. And I'm like, well, I'm like, listen, you're the boss of you. He's only in his early 60s, this patient is. Oh, yeah, he's on dialysis too. And he's like, I don't know about all that. And I said, well, you're the boss of you. If a time comes for you where you're like, I'm sick of dialysis, I'm sick of the getting poked all the time, I'm sick of the multiple admissions for my infections and into the hospital. I'm like, if you get to a point where you are done, then okay. I'm like, we got people to help your soul transition out of this body. And he's just like, well, I'm not doing that. He's like, I want to be around until I'm 99. I said, so if you want to be around until you're 99, then you're going to do what you got to do. You're going to face it, own it, solve it. Stacey Martino would always teach us, our mentor, right? I'm like, what are you going to do? You're going to get rid of the crap, the shit tire in your car that's a flat. You're going to get rid of it. You're going to put a new one on and you're going to drive. That's what you're going to do. And he's looking at me and he's like, I'm like, what? You can do it. Look at what you've been through. You had bypass. You're on dialysis. You've gotten other things cut off and you get back every time. You're a miracle. You've had multiple opportunities to die and you haven't. So if anybody's going to make it through this thing, it's going to be you. Yeah, you're high risk. I mean, if I look at all your list of things that's going on with you, you're at high risk for bad things happening. But guess what? You make it through every single time. I said, so right now, you need to know. He's like, I don't know if I can do it. I said, it's not just you. You're not doing this by yourself. You've got angels watching over you. And then we talked about Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, who showed up for him and his wife for that accident. It's incredible that nobody else got killed, I mean, come on. And when you look at these things, right, and you're like, holy cow, how do people survive? I mean, that's one thing I will tell you when I work in the hospital, that is such a blessing to be like, you can take one perspective, which is like, my goodness, these people just keep coming in. Come on, right? But then on the other hand, you're like, I can't believe these people keep coming in alive, right? Because they are true miracles. And here's the thing, it's not our job to judge, right? Everybody has their own yellow brick road of life. Every soul has their own journey. And it's so interesting because I'm like the first person, my colleagues in residency would make fun of me because I'd be like, you gotta make everybody DNR, like meaning do not resuscitate, like let people pass peacefully. But I was being divinely guided yesterday when I spoke to this soul brother patient, because I'm like, wow, I can't believe, like when I walked out of that room, I was like, I can't believe I just said all that stuff to him. But it was the appropriate thing to say. I truly believe it with every piece of my soul that that's what that soul needed in that moment. That he needed to be reminded of his immovable self, of his unshakable self, that no matter what happens in the drama of life, that soul has gotten back up and done what he had to do, because his time is not done. It's not ready yet. And so that same goes for us. And he's like, I don't know. I said, listen, you inspire people. He's like, I don't know if anybody looks at me as inspired. I said, you may not know. I said, you don't know what happened with the person, the ambulance worker, right? The EMT who picked you up on the side of the road after that accident. You don't know who you inspired. I said, you're inspiring me. He's like, I am? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, if somebody told me years ago, even if somebody told you years ago that you would go through all of this stuff, you would have been like, no way, right? And here you are. Yeah, you're going to get your leg cut off, and it's not your time yet. It's not your time. It's just another opportunity for you to get back up and show all of us and yourself what your soul is capable of. You get knocked down, you get back up again. You inspire me. You teach me. And so my physician sisters, right? It's always, I tell my patients all the time, you are my greatest teacher. You are my greatest teacher. Because we get the privilege and opportunity, no matter how burned out we are, it is a privilege and an opportunity to be able to serve our fellow soul brothers and sisters, to help them stay in their bodies if that's part of their journey, and to help them transition if that is the time for them. I'm feeling gratitude today. It is a privilege. It is a privilege. So August, so I have a couple messages here. I want to go over yesterday's. No, is it yesterday's? No, today is what, August 29th, August 28th. Yesterday's. We have the habit of looking outside the self to satisfy our inner needs. Such satisfaction is only temporary. We have a habit of looking outside the self to satisfy our inner needs. Such satisfaction is only temporary. So what does this mean, right? The habit is we're looking at sugar, we're looking at alcohol, we're looking at drugs, we're looking at smoking, we're looking at other people to satisfy our needs. But the second that we're looking outside of ourselves externally, the satisfaction will only be temporary. And so the work that we do here that I love to discuss with all of you is growing ourselves internally so we can be unshakable and immovable despite what is going on around us. And that is the true strength. It's high level stuff. I know doesn't happen overnight, but if this speaks to you, you're in the right spot. August 29th, fill yourself with good thoughts and give everyone love and cooperation by being a well-wisher. Right. So, this can sound trite and like Pollyanna, right? Fill yourself with good thoughts and give everyone love and cooperation by being a well wisher. But this is huge. This is huge because we have to stand guard at the gates of our own mind, right? And make sure that we are filling ourselves with useful, helpful thoughts that motivate and inspire ourselves, and thereby give all those around us love, cooperation, and wishing them well. When we are depleted, when we're hurt, when we're staying in that place, right, of yuckiness and negativity, we can't help anyone around us. We're not living to our highest potential, our authentic selves. And so it's important that we fill ourselves up. That's why we meet here. It's important that we fill ourselves up so we can really live the way we're supposed to, right? And if we find ourselves having no cooperation and yucky thoughts for people, then we know we're not living our truth. All right, August 29th, ask and it is given. As you create scenarios that make you feel good, you activate a vibration that does feel good. And then the law of attraction matches that vibration. There is nothing more important than that you feel good. And there is nothing better than creating images that cause you to feel good. This is huge, right? So last week we talked about getting above 50%. Many of us, Amy, Janelle, Rebecca, we all know this. But here it doesn't even have to be that. So it's really paying attention. So the first step is figuring out how are you feeling in a moment. I know for a really long time, I had no idea. I was just like living in this fog and just this like pincushion where everything was just like, I was reacting to everything. Right? Like it was like this, I had no self-awareness as to what was going on for me. So meditation is what helped me just take a pause, take a hot minute and pause and figure out, okay, wait, where am I at right now? Right? And so then when you figure out what feels good, how do I feel right now? Well, I feel pretty good right now. Okay. So how do we keep that vibration going, right? As you create scenarios that make you feel good, I think that's why I show up here as often as I do, because I know it makes me feel good to share all of this with you. And in case it's serving someone else, I just put it out there, whoever it serves, right? So you activate a vibration that does feel good. And then, yes. Oh, awesome. Thank you. So, I think that's my virtual assistant there helping me out. Thank you. So as you create scenarios that make you feel good, you activate a vibration that does feel good. And then the law of attraction matches that vibration. There is nothing more important than that you feel good. And there's nothing better than creating images that cause you to feel good. So if you recognize in a moment that you're not feeling good, your only job in that moment is to feel better. Not with drugs and alcohol and Netflix, but to think of something like first recognize, all right, I'm not feeling the greatest, and then asking yourselves, what is it that I can do to make myself feel better in this moment? I know one of the things my sister loves to do is just sit and look at my kids' baby pictures. The kids do this too. They call it baby business. They get on their cell phone and they start like looking at my cell phone and they start looking at their old videos when they were babies and, or crazy cat videos that are hilarious, or go for a walk, or just start visualizing something that makes you feel great. Let's see what our Power of Love cards, our message for the day as we start the week. Welcome, welcome. If you're joining us, go ahead. Let me know you're here live. Say good morning or hi in the comments. Alrighty, and now we're going to do a Power of Love card. So one of the things that I do, if you're joining us for the first time, love these. We pick a message. If you're hearing this, this is certainly for you. Every single thing I say, that if you're hearing this, it's no coincidence that you're hearing it. I don't believe in coincidences. They're all synchronicities, and it's an important thing for you to hear at this moment, okay? So let's see here. Perfect. This is what we need to hear about today. Can you see it? Self-love. You realize that love of self is necessary to love another, which goes back to our message of the day. Fill yourself with good thoughts and give everyone love and cooperation by being a well-wisher. It's all the same thing, right? You love yourself, you can give and love to others. So let's see what this says. I love it. That's what this whole group, Meditation for Female Physician group, that's what all of this is about. All of it. Okay? Self-love. As the old saying goes, you can't love somebody else until you love yourself. It's true. The most important goal you can achieve in this physical dimension is that of loving yourself unconditionally. And it's a tough one. You are the very person who knows your dark secrets, faults, and shortcomings the best. It's easy to see the good in other people because you don't know anyone but yourself inside and out. Do you really think that you are the only person you know who is not worthy of your love? Your soul is perfect. Your human shell is imperfect. And so is everyone else's. The quality of love you give out is only as good as the quality of love you have for yourself. So stop shortchanging the world by not loving yourself with the same intensity you do others. You've made mistakes, but you've learned from them. That's what progress and spiritual evolution are all about. It's not about punishing. Love your weaknesses as much as your strengths, because they are your teachers. You're constantly learning, constantly. And everything that happens, especially the things that don't go our way, are not just bad things that happen, woe is me. They're our teachers, right? And one of the other things that I tell so many of my patients as a reminder to them and to myself, and I'll share it with you, never talk to yourself in a way that you would never speak to a young child. Never speak to yourself in a harsher way than you would speak to anyone else, especially my physician sisters out there. We have high goals, right? We didn't get to where we are by being complacent. But it's time for us to drop the whip. Stop cracking the whip and really give ourselves some compassion. Okay? All righty. So pay attention. What is your self-talk? Is it self-love or self-criticism? If it's self-criticism, spot it a mile away, put a full stop to it, and get it out. And give yourself the fierce love that you deserve. That is your birthright. All right, let's get some quiet. Close your eyes and get comfortable wherever you're sitting. And visualize your heart in the center of your chest with 2 nostrils, one in the right ventricle, one on the left. And go ahead and take a deep breath into your heart. Breathe out of those heart nostrils. Breathe into those heart nostrils and really feel the truth of who you are, where I am a pure, peaceful, loving soul at my core. Breathe into your heart. Feel your heart expand with that love. And as you breathe out of your heart, breathe out those vibrations of love and joy and gratitude and appreciation for exactly where you are today. And as we sit here for the last few minutes, we're going to go through the 4 soul questions. We're going to ask ourselves silently. Question 1. Who am I? Who am I? Just be. Second question. What do I want? What is my soul's deepest desire? Allow anything at all to come to you in the form of a sensation, image, feeling, or thought. Third question. What is my purpose? How can I serve myself and others? Allow anything at all to come to you in the form of a sensation, image, feeling, or thought. Fourth question. What am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? Again, allow anything at all to come to you in the form of a sensation, image, feeling, or thought. Now rest. Rest in existence. Rest in awareness. Rest in consciousness. And as we rest, I'll pronounce 4 intentions. Just repeat them silently and release them into being. Joyful, energetic body. Joyful, energetic body. Loving, compassionate heart. Loving, compassionate heart. Reflective, alert mind. Reflective, alert mind. And lightness of being. Lightness of being. Continue to rest. And when you're ready, you can slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. Open your eyes. Give yourself a big stretch. Ooh. And bring your palms together to your heart center. And give yourself a bow of gratitude for bringing yourself here today to fill up on a healthy breakfast. And from this place, we can give a blast of love and light out to all of our family, our friends, our communities, our patients, our cities, our state, our country, to all the countries on this planet, to every single brother and sister soul on this planet. And from there, we can give a blast of that energy out into the universe. And then from there, it gets boomeranged right back to us. I'll say namaste. The divine light in me sees and honors the divine light in you. Definitely put your takeaways in the comments below to help anchor it in for you and everyone else. And if you're on YouTube, definitely hit like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you back here tomorrow morning. Sending you all so much love. Mwah. Namaste.